there are men who repress their sexuality, and this is based off the shadow. And what the shadow is, it was a term coined by the Switzerland psychiatrist Carl Jung, which some of you might be familiar with. And as you might have guessed by the name, the shadow is something that we repress. It's not necessarily always a sexual aspect. And from this point on, I will be saying SUal in order not to trigger any algorithms. But the shadow is something that can be violent. It is something that can be repressed, something that is culturally unacceptable. It can also be something that is positive, such as a nerdy hobby or something that is deemed nerdy, and your current environment and the community that you live in would frown upon this activity, even though it is inherently harmless, and it can also be positive. But in any case, it is repressed. And one of the major aspects of the psyche that many men repress is their SUal nature. It is the SUal aspect, and this is due to many reasons. It is for a myriad of reasons, and I will get to it. This is a Tarik Talks Midnight podcast. Sit down, relax, and enjoy. Now, there are a myriad of reasons why men would repress this. And the very strange thing is that we live in a very liberal society. We live in a very liberal society, but this liberation only pertains to certain groups, and I won't get to it in this video, okay? But as far as a lot of men go, they feel like they have to repress this because one reason is because of as we all know, and we've all heard about, and we've seen hundreds of videos about, is that they want to be perceived as nice guys. This is how they were raised. They were raised to be nice guys. They were raised to be chivalrous, kind, generous, which is fine and dandy. Okay, it's fine and dandy, but at the same time, it is also harmful. And let me be clear about this. Restraint and a certain amount of repression is needed, because if you just let anything go, whether it be your sexuality or anything else for that matter, if you do it in excess, then that is also quite problematic. It's just as worse as full repression. Okay, so let's get that clear. You do need to have discipline in everything that you do. Okay, but these nice guys, they often overcompensate. Okay, they overcompensate, and they think that their chivalrous acts are what is ultimately going to get them the woman, right? They believe that it is ultimately going to get them the intimacy that they want, when in all reality, it is hindering them, because they are not showing that natural SUal side. Okay, they're not showing that side because they feel that it is wrong. And society has told these men that it is wrong. It is wrong for a man to display his SUal needs. And it actually hinders them, because women are looking for that. And of course, the woman has to be attracted to the man. And I'm not just talking in a physical sense, even though that is a factor, even though that is a large factor, but also his personality, his charm. You know, she has to actually be attracted. And that is when the man should know to pick up on this and then display his true intimate and sexual intentions. But unfortunately, there are men out there that feel like no matter how attracted to the no matter how attracted the woman is to him, that they can't show this side. So they take the friendly route. And this is actually hurting them because they end up, as we all know, as we've all seen from other videos, and as we've all picked up by now, it leads to them going into the friend zone because the woman subconsciously feels like there's something missing. She doesn't see him as an sexual option. She sees him as a friend, as a homie. Okay. And it's a shame because he could have been intimate with this young lady, but by him repressing his true feelings, it's hurting him. And it builds up. This repression and this resentment starts building up in this young man. He starts asking himself, why is it that I am getting friend zoned? Why is it that these girls only view me as the friend, or they only view me as the homie? They view me as almost one of the girls. They view me as a friend that they can just hang out with and vent their problems to, and even talk about other men to, their problems with other men, right? A lot of these so-called nice guys, they notice that these women are talking to them about other men that they are being intimate with. And these men end up scratching their head and wondering why these other men are getting the intimacy that they want. Well, that is because the other man that they are somewhat envious of, and I will get to this envy in a minute, but the other man that they're somewhat envious of, he knows how to bring out his sexual side. He knows how to display his more intimate side because he's not scared. And now, of course, he does it in a smart manner. He knows the thing with these guys is they know how to pick up on signs from females that they are intimately attracted. That's the difference. The difference with the other guys that do have a lot of intimate experiences, let's put it like that, they know how to pick up on a woman's signs. They know how to pick up that she is intimately attracted, and they take advantage, and they're not afraid to display that side of their personality. They know how to integrate that shadow side. They don't have any shame. They actually embrace it. They actually look forward to bringing out that side. But men that repress it, they inherently think that something is evil with that side. And as I alluded to earlier, they will be envious of the men who do get play. And the reason for that is because it's simple. The guy who is being intimate with women, he gets a chance to do that, while the nice guy, or the guy that represses, he is not doing that. So therefore, he is all envy is someone being mad or jealous at someone else because they're doing something that they can't. Okay. And I went off the tracks there for a little bit, but this is also something important to know as well, is that these guys that are repressed, they have a very high level of resentment. They have a high level of resentment towards men who do get a chance to be intimate. But that's just one factor, is that in society, even though it is supposedly liberated, it very much so looks down on masculine tendencies at some points. So that's one. Another factor is, as I alluded to earlier, it all really boils down to upbringing. That is a huge factor, is the upbringing. Maybe the young boy, when this man was a young boy, maybe his mother told him that showing these traits is inherently bad, right? That he should be a gentleman, or maybe even the religious side, the religious aspect, and it kind of vilifies sexuality. So the young boy grows up and he is religious, which is nothing wrong with that, but he really takes that part to heart, the part of how sexuality is a sin, and it is demonized and it is vilified. But no matter what way you slice it, no matter how religious, no matter how pious, no matter how much of a holy person that you claim to be, sexuality is a natural thing. It's natural. Even if you want to get married, even if you want to have a meaningful relationship, it is something that is extremely necessary. But unfortunately, with this young man being brought up in this religious or strict or prude household, it is vilified altogether, even though the fact that he is in existence was a result of sexuality. He never thinks about that. He never thinks that, hey, I'm on this earth as a result of two people being intimate. So he represses it and puts it in the shadow. And this is going to stunt his growth as he gets older, because a lot of these men, not only do they repress it mentally, but they also repress it physically as well. You know, they believe that, hey, look, I don't need to look sexually attractive. I don't need to get my sexual appeal up, because that's just shallow. That's just surface level. So they also, what they do is they also vilify and they also demonize men who do display their sexual attractiveness, who do display their sexual appeal. You know, AKA men that work out, men that wear form-fitting clothes, men that they may dress a little more revealing, and they take care of themselves. That's why a lot of men, they will hate on these type of men, because deep down inside they wish that they could do it like those guys. So what they do is, instead of displaying their sexual appeal, they vilify the men who do, right? This is why you get this is why I always tell men, never listen to other men that hate on you for working out, because deep down inside they know, they know that by you bringing out your natural appeal, you're going to most likely be more successful in getting women than they are. So what they do is, as I alluded to earlier, they repress their need to display their appeal. This is why some men, now let's be clear now, this isn't talking about all men, okay? Because some men do dress average, some men don't have the best body, but what they do have is that sexual charm, okay? And they're not afraid to display it. Even though they might not be the most aesthetically pleasing, they do have that charm. And this is also a good way too. I'm not talking about those men. I'm talking about the men that just repress any type of sexual interaction. They're going to not, they are generally not going to take care of their appearance. They're going to be wearing clothes that are a little bit more tattered. They're going to be wearing they're not going to take care of their personal appearance, because deep down inside they feel like there's something wrong with that. They feel like there's something wrong with being vain, so to speak. And this is just an example of how they feel about it. They feel like it's vain. They feel like it's shallow to upkeep yourself. And this is just another form of repression, right? This is just another form of repression. This is just another form of them keeping that side in their shadow and not integrating it, not integrating it into their life in a healthy manner. Because trust and believe, if a man represses his sexual side and he doesn't bring it out in a healthy manner, he's going to be miserable, right? He's going to be miserable. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this podcast. Let me know if you did.